Here we have the inside of the Swift Elegance 580. If we firstly come to the main control panel just here, you will see that we have the power switch just here to turn the 12 volt on. Once we do this, we will get an indication of the condition of the leisure battery. If we are hooked up to the main supply, we will get a light on just here, and it's also letting us know that we are actually using the leisure battery itself. Beside that, we then have water pump on and off. Obviously we need the water pump on to be able to get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it's been drained. Next to that, we also have fill tanks. So if we are going to be filling the onboard water tank from the Aquaroll, we need to turn this one on here, and that will then make it 12 volt live on the outside to then allow water to be put into the onboard tank. A gauge here to let us know how much water is actually in the tank. You'll see at the moment it is empty. I currently have the submersible into the Aquaroll, and it is just coming from there directly to the taps and not actually filling the tank. So when I turn the water pump on now, we'll get the alarm flashing just to let us know that there is no water in that tank, and we can silence it just by pressing the view levels. And if I now come to a tap, the water I'm getting here is literally just coming directly from the Aquaroll itself. If we were hitched up to the tow vehicle, by pressing view levels we can also get an indication of the condition of the vehicle battery. And as soon as we start the engine, we will get both lights on just here to let you know the alternator is charging the batteries. The actual onboard water tank just sits down here, and it lets you know which way you need levers, etc., depending on what you are actually doing. I am currently using the external supply, so we have the white lever just across like so. We're also making sure that both drain taps are down. If we are going to use the internal tank once we've filled it, we just need to flap this down like so. And for fully draining the system, we just need to make sure this is back like so, the water pump has been turned off, and then we just need to flap up both of the drain valves themselves. The controls for the Aldi boiler just sit here. Turn it on this button. Once we've turned on, we will get a little picture of a plug if we have main supply connected, and an internal temperature of the caravan. If we now press menu, it will bring up its basic functions just here. So the top one is the thermostat for the heating, just literally plus and minus. Pick whatever temperature you would like it to be inside the caravan, and it will go right the way up to a very, very toasty 30 degrees. Underneath that, we then have literally hot water. So hot water will always be on as soon as you turn the system on. If we highlight it so it's completely black here, that is performing a boost on the boiler. The boost is extremely handy, especially if you want to have longer showers, or there's more than one of you having a shower in quick succession of each other. If you do perform the boost and the heating is actually turned on, it will turn the heating off as it needs to use that extra power. Currently, nothing is actually working at the moment because we have not picked the power source just down here. So we have a lightning strike representing main supply. So I can now turn the system on, and I can run on 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts, or 3 kilowatts. So just dependent on the amperage of the site we're on. If we don't have main supply connected, we can use gas. And if we want to get up to temperature extremely quickly and we have the capability, we can run in dual fuel mode. It will then only use the gas as it is required. If we now press the little spanner symbol just here, we have the settings menu. So within this we have clock set. So if we're going to be using timers, we can just set it just here. We then have a night timer, a day timer, pump settings, just leave it on thermal. We do not want it on continuous, or otherwise the fluid in the radiators will just constantly go round. Pump mode, just leave it on auto. And you can adjust the pump level as well. Summer and winter mode, depending on if you are going to be using gas. Antimicrobial. If you are going to be using this, you do need to have it on like it is at the moment, but you also need to be using the night mode. And then what will happen is at about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, it will come on. The boiler will rapidly heat itself up and kill off any bacteria that might be in the system. Temperature adjustment for the thermostats. If you don't think they're quite correct, you can tweak them slightly. If you want button beeps on and off, literally the brightness of the screen. Language, keypad lock, so if you've got children you can lock the pad out to stop them from touching and adjusting stuff. External start, you don't need to worry about. You do have to have additional bits and bobs added to the van to be able to control the heating and hot water via an app. Amp meter, so if you're on a site and you know how many amps it is, you can actually pick on here, and then it doesn't matter if you are running on 3 kilowatts up here, it will limit itself if there's a danger of tripping. Service more for the workshop, but it will let you know what everything is actually doing. And then back off again. If we now go underneath the bench seat just here, we have the control board for the motor mover, back of the battery box, and then the actual Aldi boiler itself is just tucked here. Down here we have the Pir sensor for the alarm. You will get a green flashing light every now and then just to let you know it's working correctly. The alarm itself operates like so. This button here is just a torch. We then have arm and disarm. It is 1 beep armed, 2 beeps disarmed. We can turn the awning light on and off if the 12 volt is actually turned on in the van. And then we have P for program. We can adjust the characteristics of the alarm by pressing this. We can't accidentally do anything just by pressing it. We do have to hold it down for 10 seconds. And we do also have to be looking at this PIR. We can change the alarm from standard setting into high wind mode if it's being buffeted, or put it into pet friendly mode, which will disarm the internal sensors. If you are going to do this, I do suggest that you get the little instruction pamphlet from the book pack, as it will tell you how many times you need to press the P button once you've activated it to put it into the different functions. underneath this bench seat we have the actual alarm box itself just here, and then tucked at the back there are some fuses. They are all labelled up, and for more bits and bobs on the outside of the caravan, like marker lights, the 12-volt feed from the hitch electrics to the fridge. If we go underneath the fixed bed, we actually have the consumer unit just here. So we have the 12-volt fuses here and the trip switches just there. So if something's not working on mains or 12-volt, first port of call to see whether or not either a fuse has blown or a trip has been switched. We then have isolators on the top for components that run on main supply. So this one here is for the heating and hot water, so if it's turned off you will just get an error message appear on the control panel. This one is for the battery charger just here, so if you turn that one off, obviously when you're hooked up to main supply you will not be charging the leisure battery. And this one here will illuminate if you have reverse polarity connected. If that is the case, these newer Sergeant units will reverse the polarity and make it safe in the van. These also come now with full system shutdown, so if you're not using the caravan for long periods of time, you can press this button here and it will kill any residual draw on the leisure battery itself. The select buttons here are more for the workshop, but you can just bring up the condition of the leisure battery. On the side just here, all the trips and the fuses are all numbered, etc. Just there. The solar panel regulator is just located here. We do not need to do anything with it. It will just let you know what it's up to. So you'll see that we have a solid green light at the moment, letting you know that the battery is nicely charged. If the battery is actually being charged by the solar panel, this solid red light here, solid green light here, sorry, will change to red to let you know. We have the hob, so we have one electric hot plate, and that operates on this one here. There is no light that comes on, so do be careful. And then everything else is gas, and it's fairly the normal push in, twist and press the igniter. Beneath that we then have the grill. And the oven beneath. The Dometic fridge operates just by pressing the button here. And then we have 2-pin plug for main supply, flame for gas, auto ignites itself, do not need to do anything else. If it fails to light, the unit will beep at you, and if you just think it might be a little bit of air in the system, you can press this button here to make it reset itself and try again. And then the last one is 12-volt maintain for when you're towing. So at the moment we are going to get a red flashing light and a beeping noise because we are not hitched up to a tow vehicle. Temperature control just here, and then just push down to open. CD player just in here. So we have source button just here, so it will switch you between the auxiliary AM, FM and CD if you had one actually inserted. Change tracks or search for radio stations just here. Easy graphic equalizer just up here. And then volume control just here. And then hold the source button actually in to turn the unit completely on or off. Above my head we have the Omnivent fan. Wind the roof vent up like so, and then turn the unit on. We have arrows out for extraction and arrows in for cooling. Do make sure that the roof vent is back down for travel. The microwave, we have the fairly normal quick start, stop, and then we have like the auto menu, defrost, all just there. I always suggest that it's a very good idea to remove the plate, etc. for travel. As we come into the washroom, we have the Thetford toilet. Open to the cassette just here. Push to flush just here. Level indicator just there. We have the basin and the shower. There is a travel catch just up here, so do make sure it is at the moment to stop the shower screen from sliding around everywhere. In the wardrobe, we have the television aerial just here. Undo, mast up, get into the position you require. H is for horizontal. We can turn the tail and turn it into a vertical position for additional tuning if required. Digital amplifier just here, on and off on the top, and control the boost just here. Again, make sure that the mast is down for travel. Header tank for the Aldi heating system just here. We just need to make sure that the fluid level is between the minimum and the maximum. Always take your reading once the heating is up to temperature, as the fluid will expand in the tank itself. If it does require topping up, you can do this yourself if you want. You just need to make sure that you get the Aldi top up solution. Take the cap off and then top up. Also in here we have the freestanding table.